Hi, everyone. This week for reading time, we are going to travel to a new place. We're going to dive deep down into the ocean and learn all about it. So, this week, your job will be to write a fact about something you've learned about the ocean. So, I don't want you to write a boring fact. I want you to write a super fact that teaches me a lot about the ocean. If someone read your fact that has never learned about the ocean before, you would teach them a lot about it. So listen closely while we read the ocean ecosystem and think of what fact you want to write. The ocean is one huge body of water that surrounds all of the land on Earth. Can you see the ocean on this map? Yeah, it's all the blue parts. What do you know about oceans? Do you know any animals that live there? So, looking at the ocean's surface, it's hard to believe that underneath it lies many ecosystems, all full of amazing creatures. Ocean ecosystems can be deep, shallow. Remember, shallow means not very deep. They can be warm, freezing cold, sunny, or completely dark. Scientists have divided the ocean into three different zones based on how much light they get. Sunlight doesn't reach very deep into the ocean, so the darker it gets, the deeper you go. Ocean plants and animals have adapted to survive in whatever zone they live in. So up on the top of the water, it's really bright, and then you go down deeper and deeper and deeper, and it gets really dark. Many plants and animals live in the sunlight zone. Look at the sunlight zone right here. Do you see the coral? Do you see the fish? Those are the plants and animals that live there. The sun warms the water and fills it with light. One sunlight zone ecosystem is the coral reef ecosystem. Can you say coral reef? Coral reefs are like neighborhoods of plants and animals. They provide shelter and protection for a lot of life in the sunlight zone. So if you look at the picture here, it's a bunch of coral, and you can see a little fish in this picture here living in that coral. One incredible sunlight zone animal is the sea star. Why do you think it's called a sea star? Yeah, they look like stars. Most sea stars have 5 arms, but some have more. They creep along the ocean floor using thousands of tiny suckers called tube feet. Their predators include, remember, a predator is something that eats them, ocean birds, sea turtles, and crabs. The sea star has a great trick to stay alive if it's caught by a predator. See, here's one of those seabirds eating the sea star. If a predator bites off one of its arms, the sea star can grow a new one. The broken arm can even grow into a new sea star. So if that bird bites off one of the arms, the sea star can grow a new arm back, and the arm that got broken off can grow into a new sea star. That's pretty cool. The sunlight zone is the only place plants can grow because plants need sunlight to survive. Plants turn light from sun into food for themselves. So the plants don't have to go eat food like we do. The plants use the sunlight, and that's the food that they need. This right here is a sperm whale. Can you say sperm whale? I want you to make a guess. Do you think they're meat eaters, carnivores, or plant eaters, herbivores? Let's find out. Many animals spend their whole lives in the sunlight zone, but some animals travel between zones to find food. Sperm whales travel to the travel to the surface to breathe. So they go up to the top to take a breath, and then they dive down over 2,000 feet to hunt for prey. The layer below the sunlight zone is the twilight zone. Can you say twilight zone? So in the twilight zone, a little bit of light filters down, but not enough for plants to grow. The water looks dark blue or black, and it's colder as it gets deeper. Look at that picture. It's much darker than the sunlight zone. Because no plants can grow, there are no herbivores in the twilight zone. The twilight zone animals are either carnivores, scavengers, or decomposers. Here are two examples of animals down here. It's the octopus and the eel. Look at those teeth on that eel. One predator in the twilight zone is the octopus. Octopuses eat many ocean animals, such as crabs, snails, and fish. If an octopus catches prey that's inside a shell, it has many ways to open the shell so it can eat the animal inside. Octopuses can use their arms, they have lots and lots of arms. Remember how many they have? 8. They can use their arms to pry open the shells. They can use their sharp beaks to crack the shells, or a part of their mouth called the radula, they can use that to drill a hole into the shell and inject venom into their prey. So this is an example of an animal that would be living in a shell over here. And the octopuses would use their arms or their beaks. Here's a zoomed in version in the middle of their beak, or the part of their mouth called the radula that they can drill a hole in and inject venom or poison in. So they have a lot of ways to get the animals out. Like the sea star, many octopuses can regrow their arms if they get bitten off. When an animal's arm or leg grows back, it's called limb regeneration. So look right here. Look at that octopus arm that got cut off. But the octopus doesn't have to panic because it can regrow another arm. That's pretty crazy. Could you regrow an arm? No. Okay, we're going down a little bit deeper. The deepest zone in most parts of the ocean is the midnight zone. Can you say midnight zone? The light of the sun doesn't reach this far, so it's very dark. Can you tell? The only light we see is coming from that submarine. Scientists who study the ocean are called oceanographers. When oceanographers explore the midnight zone, they have to bring their own light. That's the only way they can see. It's so dark. The midnight zone isn't completely dark, though. Some midnight zone animal, like these jellyfish, make their own light to attract prey. Remember, prey is what they eat, so they shine and they hope that other food comes near them so they can get it. This is called bioluminescence. The anglerfish has a bioluminescent lure that hangs over its head. So here's the anglerfish, and it has this right here, and that's where the bioluminescence comes from. That's a light, okay? That's just a big fancy word for light. When a curious fish comes to investigate, the anglerfish snaps the prey up in its mouth. Draws them in, and they want the little fish, and then the anglerfish snaps it up and eats it. There's an anglerfish in Finding Nemo, if you've ever seen it. Dory goes towards the bioluminescent light, and the anglerfish almost gets him. Sadly, many incredible ocean ecosystems are in danger. Human pollution has harmed the ocean animals' homes, and climate change is making the water too warm for animals to survive in. Look how yucky that water is. Would you want to live in that water? Oceanographers, remember those are people who study the ocean, they learn about how ocean animals are affected by pollution and climate change. They collect information about ocean animals by measuring and weighing them, by counting how many there are in different parts of the ocean. The more scientists know about the ocean and animals and the ecosystems they live in, the better they can protect them. So look, they've captured the shark right here, and they're going to weigh it and measure it, and then they're going to count how many other sharks they see so they can help protect those animals. Lots of people who aren't scientists are working together to protect the ocean ecosystem. When sea animals accidentally eat plastic bags and other trash, it makes them really sick. People can help by picking up trash on beaches and using less plastic. Imagine you're an ocean explorer in each of the zones. What would you see? What would you see in the sunlight zone? What about the twilight zone? How about the midnight zone? Good job, friends. Now that you've learned a lot more about the ocean, we're going to start thinking about what kind of fact we want to write today. So let's look at our glossary to remind ourselves about some words we might want to use in our writing today. The first one is coral reefs. What do you remember about those? I remember that coral reefs are in the sunlight zone and they grow because the sunlight hits them. I also learned that the coral can be a home for a fish. What about an octopus? I learned that octopuses, they when they get an arm cut off, they can grow it back. That's crazy. What about an oceanographer? What does an oceanographer study? Yeah, they study the ocean. Good. What about a jellyfish? What's special about jellyfish? Yeah, jellyfish create their own light to draw other animals in that they can eat. That's pretty special. What about a sea star? A sea star had something in common with the octopus. I'm remembering that the sea star can also grow back an arm if it gets cut off. That is pretty cool. That's something humans can't do. All right, friends, I want you to think of your fact. When you have your super fact about the ocean in your brain, you can go ahead and watch the next video to figure out what you're doing during writing today.